Let's talk about getting paid. It's a very important subject, and I know that a lot of people struggle with this because I've struggled with this myself. One of the hardest things to do is to be patient and not seem needy when it comes to the subject of getting paid, getting your money. So, I've been in a situation many times where, for example, a client either paid 50% upfront and now the rest of the payment is due, or as many of you know, I was in real estate for a long time, and when you're in that business, the way it works is, well, you get the listing and then you sell the property and then you get paid when the ownership transfers. So you have to wait until you get paid. And one of the excellent books about this subject is To Be or Not to Be Intimidated. And he later rebranded into Winning Through Intimidation. It's Robert J. Ringer, I believe. It's an excellent book. And what he talks about, he was a commercial real estate guy, and he talks about getting to the closing and clients sort of metaphorically cutting his fingers off at the closing, basically saying, well, the only thing you did is to, get a buyer for the property. You shouldn't be paid $50,000, $100,000, $900,000 for that, even though they had agreed to it in beforehand in the contract. When the money is due, they change their minds. Here's what you have to understand: before the service is due, like when there's a need, when they have a bleeding neck problem, like the blood is squirting out and they want to solve it, then they'll pay anything to solve the problem. But as soon as the bandage is put around it and you sort of fix the problem, or you put a band-aid on it and make sure they don't bleed out, now the priority drops. The issue is that you want to get paid, but for them, you're not as high as priority anymore as you were before. So now there's sort of a different dynamic going on. You want to get paid, but you sort of put in some work, and it's hard beforehand to get paid up front, right? Like if you're world-renowned expert in this field and you're the man, or you're the woman, you're the guy to fix this. Like, I don't know if this guy is even on television anymore, but you had the dog guy, the Cesar Millan, the guy that if your dog acted up, he would fix your dog. And he was like the dog whisperer, or he was something like that. And if you had like an unruly dog, he would fix it, and he would come in, fix your dog. And the guy could charge anything because he was the man. Like when Conor McGregor was at his peak, at his fame, the guy could probably charge anything for a fight. Everyone would come and watch because it was Conor McGregor. But I'm assuming you're not coming from a Cesar Millan or a Conor McGregor positioning. You're coming from you. In that case, I always went with service offerings that had either a guarantee, basically saying, if I do this, you pay me. If I don't, you don't pay me. Like it's 100% guaranteed. I like those offers. Or if it's like maybe it's a service-based thing, I would probably still go with talk to me for an hour, and if you don't like it, you don't pay. Or otherwise, if it absolutely has to be that way, you can charge like 50% up front and then the rest upon completion. Whatever you like whatever works for you, right? But what I want you to do is make sure that you remove all the risk. When it comes time to collect your payment, and when you have to ask for it, sort of send the invoice, or even remind them of the invoice being due, what I do not want you to do is be needy or be nasty or be like a Karen, like someone that is self-righteous and says, I did all this work and you haven't paid me and you're a bad person for doing that and you should be ashamed. That's like the worst positioning ever. You don't want to do that. I've had this with consumers. Like I did business to consumer sales for a long time, right? And business to consumer is much more prone to emotional issues like this, where people either don't want to pay you, or they change their mind about paying you, or they want to put in a lawsuit because they don't want to pay you, like, and they don't think it's fair to pay you. Like, business to business, it still happens, but it's not as commonplace as it is with consumers. And the worst thing to do is basically say, here's the contract, you signed this, you have to pay me, better do it, or you're a bad person. You're much better off saying, hey, we agreed to this. I'd love to collect my second half of the payment, my payment. Would you please take care of this as soon as you're able to do it? Let me know. And it's a very low pressure, sort of polite way to put it. But the first thing is always like, here's the invoice. And when you have to remind, it's basically, hey, I noticed you didn't have a chance to take care of this. Could you please handle this as soon as possible? And maybe the reminder after that is like, hey, I was talking to my accountant. He mentioned that this hasn't been taken care of. Can you handle this as soon as possible? And maybe if you want to ramp it up, it might be something like, hey, I don't like sending things to the collection agency. I'm sure it was an oversight. Can you handle this within, I don't know, 3 days, 5 days, so I don't have to farm this out to some weird collections agency and you're gonna pay a lot more. I don't want to do that. So let me know. I'm sure you oversaw it, and right. This is a much better way of handling it because you're giving them a way out. You always want to give them a way to save face. You always want to assume that they oversaw it. Maybe they really did. I don't know. Maybe they missed all the previous arrangements that you made. Maybe they missed all the previous reminders that you sent. Maybe they missed all of the emails, all of the letters you sent, all of the text messages. Maybe. Who knows? It's not impossible. It's implausible. It's not impossible. So let's assume always that they missed all that and that you're just reminding them. And if at any point they don't play ball, or they say, well, we agreed to this, but then you delivered that, and I don't agree. Well, in that case, at least you know that there's a conflict. Well, I mean, in that case, it's pretty straightforward. You basically say, hey, I understand, and we agreed that if I did this, you would pay me that, and I did that thing, so now it's up to you to pay me that. So I would really appreciate it if you just handled this, and I know you're a man of your word, and please handle this and let me know if that's an issue. In my case, about 80% of the time, people would say, yeah, okay, and then they'd pay. Or they would say, no, I won't, or can I pay it in installments or whatever. So you never know what the real reason behind it is, right? But in terms of collecting your money, you want to be polite and you want to be persistent, and you don't want to resort to neediness or blaming them or whatever. You want to always give them a way to save face. And even until the last moment, like I've had clients where I had to send a collection agency to collect payment. And until the last moment, I would say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to send them. But, we did this thing like 3 months ago, and we agreed that this was the payment due, and I sent you the invoice, and it's not getting done. So please, if there's any way you can handle this, or if you want to do it in installments, please let me know, because I don't want to send them, but I have to. Like, there's nothing else I can do. I mean, I run a business. I need to pay the bills at the end of the month. Help me out here. And I think that's the positioning you want to take. Instead of saying, you're a bad person, you should have paid me, you're evil, you suck, and you should be ashamed of yourself. That's never a good positioning to have. And that's general life advice. So make sure to always give people a way out. Be nice, be persistent, be polite, but don't let them get away with not paying you.